Let's get to the big international story of the day. Tensions building up between Russia and Ukraine, particularly with the US also stepping in. The United States has dismissed Moscow's demand for a written agreement denying Ukraine entry into NATO. And that's what's also led to the tensions reaching a new high. The United States has deployed its troops, put them on standby, about 8,500 of them, put them on standby in Ukraine. So there's a tense calm in Ukraine. Russia, meanwhile, has responded with a wait-and-watch policy. They've built up their troop presence along the Ukraine border, and they're saying we're watching very closely as to exactly what moves the United States makes next.
As many as 100,000 Russian troops have remained amassed at the Ukrainian border. Despite warnings from US President Joe Biden and European leaders of serious consequences should Putin move ahead with an invasion. The negotiations between Russia and the US have reached a deadlock, with the US rejecting Moscow's primary demand of not having Kiev join the NATO military alliance.
We've taken this step out of prudence. We hope those forces don't have to be activated for deployment. But if they are, we will be ready. We're also continuing to coordinate with our European allies and partners on severe economic sanctions to hold Moscow accountable for its actions.
The main question is our clear message that we consider further NATO expansion to east and weapons deployment, which can threaten the Russian Federation, unacceptable.
But experts believe that a full-scale conflict between the two sides is unlikely.
I think neither side, nor the Russians nor the United States, is seeking a fight. But the problem is that the Russians are not going to wait for another whole year for their concerns to be addressed.
I expect that the full-blown military invasion of Ukraine by Russia is unlikely. Russia has much less power than the United States and Europe combined. So Russian economy is 14 times smaller than the United States ones and 10 times smaller than the Europe's ones.
The fresh crisis in Ukraine started with the Russian threat of consequences should Ukraine decide to become a member of the NATO military alliance. The first real problem emerged in November 2013, when then Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych joined the Russian-led Eurasian Economic Union rather than signing the Ukrainian EU agreement. This led to massive clashes called the Euromaidan movement. Eventually, the Ukrainian President Viktor was removed. In 2019, the Ukrainian parliament amended the Ukrainian constitution in order to allow the country to join NATO and the European Union.
A lot of the Western countries have shown their support. The US and the UK have sent military ammunition for Ukraine as aid in this escalating ongoing situation. Countries like the Czech Republic have said that they are ready to send their help if needed, if Ukraine asks for it. At the same time, NATO also talks about positioning their troops in Eastern Europe, positioning more troops there in the countries that are part of NATO.
The Ukrainian pro-West tilt has become a core concern for Moscow and therefore the current military build-up at the border. According to Global Firepower 2021, Russia is way stronger than Ukraine. Therefore, Kiev needs support from NATO. How is Russia looking at fighting Ukraine at the West? Russia today has carried out one of the largest military deployments in Europe after the Second World War. It has deployed over 100,000 soldiers around Ukraine, threatening the use of conventional force. Cyber war, the opening salvos of a ground offensive, will be a massive cyber attack on Ukraine's cyber infrastructure. Multi-axis attack. Russian forces could attack from Belarus, Russia, Donbass and Crimea. A multi-axis attack encircles defending forces and captures territory. The ground offensive. Russia will use artillery, armored formations of tanks and infantry combat vehicles, and air power to destroy defenses, capture territory and encircle defenders. While Russia is absolutely determined to take on any overtures by the West towards Ukraine, the NATO and Europe are a divided house. Crucial in Germany's decision not to send military help lies in Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. It is the Nord Stream 2 which connects Russia directly to Germany. It offers Moscow some leverage because it bypasses Ukraine and Poland, which currently benefit from transit fee. Ukrainian president has called the pipeline a dangerous geopolitical weapon of Kremlin. The US, UK and EU have all warned Russia that it will face further crippling sanctions if it invades its neighbors. For India, it is a tightrope walk. If Moscow is sanctioned, then India's defense relations with Russia could take a hit. With both Russia and the US key strategic partners of India, taking sides is not an option. Also, any conflict in Eurasia could further deepen Russia's ties with China and divert the world's attention from Chinese aggression across the Indo-Pacific. With Maria Romanenko in Kyiv and Geeta Mohan in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.